right, so now let's talk about some problems that oceans pose to land. So coastal hazards. The first one is going to be storm winds. So when a hurricane blows through, it has a lot of winds. So winds can be up to 120 miles per hour. And so just like a tornado, they can blow houses over. They also, these winds, as they come in, they can push water in front of them. So that water can slosh onto the continent as a surge, and so that can cause flooding. The waves themselves can cause a lot of erosion when they hit the beach, so they can cause beaches to actually disappear as a result of a storm. Okay, shoreline erosion. So if you have a house that is built on top of a cliff, that cliff can be slowly eroded away due to wave action, and then that can cause your house to collapse. Shoreline deposition. So as waves come in, they're going to bring sand with them. And so what can happen is the sand can clog up a harbor so that ships will not be able to go into that harbor because there's so much sand in it. So then what they have to do is they have to dredge it. So this is a picture of a dredge, and it actually has to dig out all of that sand, and then they have to take that sand somewhere else and dump it. So what can we do to mitigate these coastal hazards? Well, one thing would be zoning laws. So if you don't want your house to be destroyed by a hurricane, then don't build your house next to a ocean. So there are certain places where they don't allow you to build your house just because of the threat of hurricanes. Building codes. So your house has to have special glass in it that is able to withstand the winds and the debris that might be coming from a hurricane. Another thing might be to take your entire house and put it on stilts so that it would be above the level of the water if a hurricane comes in. Okay, another thing is the use of breakwaters and riprap. So breakwaters are going to be taking boulders and rocks and things and putting them out to sea so that it's going to make a wall that is going to intercept the waves that are coming towards the shoreline. So that behind the breakwater would be a more sheltered area to put your ships. Riprap, on the other hand, is again going to be boulders and things, but you're putting it on the shoreline. And so the idea is that the rocks are going to absorb the impact of the waves instead of the soil, so that it's going to reduce the amount of erosion that's going to occur. Okay, jetties. So jetties are going to be taking rocks, and this time, if this is the shoreline, instead of putting the rocks here, so that's going to be riprap, okay, instead of putting the rocks out here, so that's going to be breakwaters, we're going to take the rocks this time and we're going to put them like this. And so the idea this time is that as the waves are coming in from the direction like this, it's going to reduce the amount of erosion of the sand on the shoreline. So instead of the sand moving in this direction because of these offshore waves, then what's going to happen is it's still going to move, but not quite as far down the shoreline. And so that's what these jetties are going to do. Okay, time to take a quiz. So let's take a break. When we come back, we'll do our lesson quiz over oceans.